Jem is my name, no one else is the same. Jem is my name. Jem.
Shh, I'm listening. Music, very important part of Jem and the Holograms. But I can't hear a damn thing. 'Cause it's a comic book. Being that music is such an important part of Jem and the Holograms, how in the biscuits do you handle it in written form? Do you just write the score into the comic book and hope people know how to sight read music? I mean, I'd appreciate that. Please do that, because I would get something out of it. Maybe not many others would, but so what comics and even novels will typically do if they feel they must present music in their words is just write out the lyrics. And if it's a book, they will try and describe what the feeling of the song is and how it's being performed, maybe what instruments are around, where it's taking place. A comic, however, is a visual medium that allows you to, even in an abstract way, try to communicate the emotion and the feeling of the music in addition to the lyrics. Lyrics are easy. You can just write them down. But you can't hear the melody. But maybe you can use the art to communicate how the song feels. So that's what they attempt to do in Jem and the Holograms. One thing I forgot to mention about the first issue was Jerica, when she runs away and goes home, she starts noodling on her guitar. This is right before she meets Synergy. And she sings a little song to herself. Everyone's like glitter, shining bright, bathed in light. All true and real, made for this. What I am is unknowable. What I have is buried, locked deep and dark. Got to find the key. Just have to breathe, 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 breathe. I'm gonna bet the Misfits songs are better, because that kind of sucks, Jerica. First of all, your rhyme scheme is nigh non-existent. I mean, you have shining bright, bathed in light, but nothing else rhymes with anything else. That critique aside, the way this is, they do so. Look at the way the render the word balloon, so to speak, that surrounds the lyrics with these wispy purple gaseous looking things, as if she's kind of singing it very quiet and breathy, not a lot of support from the diaphragm. She's just, everyone's like glitter shining. You know, that's the kind of feel. Also with her, you know, sitting down and hunched over, and you know, has a very down face. Her hair is a bit mussed because she was out in the rain. It gives you that feeling even if you can't hear it. And you can't. And if you can hear it, you either have superpowers I'm jealous of, or you may need therapy. But I mean, if you hallucinate great music, I don't know if that's something you want to fix. I might keep that. So this is a nice little song. It's another thing that's very important if you listen to the lyrics of most pop music, it is crap. It's meaningless, innocuous blather. It's just garbage. You don't have the luxury of doing that in a book, because you can't rely on a beat or a melody or a cool percussion line. You've just got the words and the visuals. So this is talking about how her sisters are shining bright, and they're all in on this whole thing, and I'm here, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know how to get out from under myself. I just need to pretend that's a paper bag, because that probably looked terrible. I was trying to pantomime, like, breathing into a paper bag like I'm hyperventilating, and I'm afraid that came off incredibly filthy. I'm sure there will be GIFs. So now let's move to issue 2 introduces us to the Misfits, and it introduces them in their classic outfits from the cartoon, which is a nice touch. I like that. Again, cool redesigns on the characters. I'm liking it. They're interviewed with Lindsay Pierce, who's actually as close to the original character design as any of the characters I've seen yet. So let's look at the Misfits song. Seeping in your head, crawling in your bed, the black will build infection. Sleeping in your head, crawling in your bed, the black will build, infection spreads. Now, quick critique there. While those 3 lines rhyme, head, bed, spread, they use the pluralized form of spread, so infection spreads. I might have said infections spread to try and avoid rhyming a singular with a plural, because it doesn't actually work. It's one of my pet peeves with rhyme schemes. Small thing. If they're singing it fast enough, you're probably not going to notice. Anyway, you cannot win. It's in your skin. We are the night. We are the dark you fear. Give in. Give in. Don't know why you fight. It's the attack of the night. Attack of the night. So already the way you can see the difference in how the word balloons, so to speak, surrounding these lyrics are much different from the ones in Jerica's little solo noodling that she did in the last issue. Gives you a very nice sense of a powerful, driving, in-your-face kind of a feeling. Also, the way that the characters are rendered, lots of extreme close-ups, very harsh silhouettes, real shocking greens and purples, very, very in your face, very sharp and out there, and of course the lyrics with seeping and crawling and infection and in your skin and dark and fear gives you a really good sense of what kind of band this is, and what it gives a very solid and immediate sense of character for this band as compared to at least Jerica. We've not heard what the Holograms themselves have done yet, but we will a little bit later in the book. So really nice work there. So Jerica and her sisters, they using synergy to give her the hologram makeover so she could be JEM, which is something I forgot to mention last time. Interesting note in the character profiles, Jerica's like 5'5", but JEM is 5'11". So also they look nothing alike. Their facial features are completely different. Whereas in the cartoon, Jerica and JEM look exactly the same, just with different hair and makeup. Makes you kind of want. There's a bit in what is it, the Starbright episodes, I think, where someone's going to do Kimber or someone asks, is like, Jerica, what happens if someone they're going to the makeup trailer for it to do a film, and they're like, what happens when she tries to put makeup on your holographic face? She's like, I don't know, better be safe than sorry. What happens if someone gives JEM head pats or something? Which is weird. Don't just walk up to people and pat their head. That's weird. But if someone did, there's 5 inches of space from the top of JEM's head to where Jerica's would be. Right? I imagine Rio and JEM are going to smooch at some point, so how is that going to work? He's going to be sticking his tongue into empty air, or straight into Jerica's hair. That's not what I was expecting at all. You know, what I mean, it's got to be. Synergy's got to be working overtime on the advanced calculations to get things to line up properly. Because, I mean, her hands and her arms are going to be in completely different places from where the holograph is. Like, I mean, Jerica may be holding a microphone in front of her face, but Why is JEM always have the microphone in her chest? Or, well, it'd be more like her throat, her collarbone. I don't know. Will the comic book hit that? Who knows? But let's look at the song from the Holograms. So, again, much different style in the word balloons and the visuals. It's got much more of a nice brighter colors with the pink with the blue highlights and the yellows in the background, and it's a lot less angular. It's smoother and more floaty. Here are the lyrics. I know you've got the need. You want to take the lead. Make the world see. But first, girl, you got to set yourself free. When you were younger, it was just the hunger. But now you can have it all. It's completely your call. You got to show your dream. Make it scream like a sci-fi laser beam. That's a lame lyric. I don't know who wrote that. That I don't like that line. To set yourself free, to totally be. You're on a ledge, but you got the edge. You're gonna soar, but girl, you gotta do more. Okay, this one rhymes. I approve. The laser beam is weird. I should workshop that one a little bit more. I don't like it. But, again, songs in the written work, if you're going to render them, they need to... or it would help, at least in my humble opinion, my humble and correct opinion, they need to do something to inform character or relate to the plot. This is talking about how the Holograms have been trying to do this for a while, and they're finally getting there. You know, they were here, they worked for it, now they're getting where they are, living their dream and their best life, and it's great. And that's nice. And it may be more your style than the harsh edge of the Misfits, but this is just kind of less interesting to me. So, yeah, the Misfits songs. They better. So in this episode, in this issue, it's pretty Misfits centric. We get introduced to the Misfits, and once again, I feel there's some really nice work in condensing working within the limits of 2022 pages to get jam as much characterization into a bunch of new characters as you can in a limited space. And they do a pretty nice job of that. We don't have the best idea of who Aja and Shayna are yet. We get little glimpses of their personality, and they're starting to build. We get a good sense of pizzazz here. And she's an abrasive dick, like she is in the cartoon, but this one seems to be, at least for now, have a lot more integrity than the pizzazz of the comics does, because this pizzazz, they're doing the battle of they're doing a competition where they're soliciting a bunch of videos for up-and-coming bands, then they're going to compete with them and see who wins. Wow, wouldn't it be embarrassing if the Misfits lost their own competition? So you'd think that pizzazz would be... The pizzazz of the cartoon would definitely rig this thing. And they kind of did, although Eric Bad Guy probably was running it and, hired the Limp Lizards to make sure that... I hope the Limp Lizards are somewhere in this comic run. Don't spoil it. I want to be surprised. But I really want to see the Lizards. Because they're fun. They just seem nice. So there's a moment where Pizzazz is talking about all the crap bands, and she's like, yes, I definitely want to win, but I don't want to win against crap bands. So she may be an abrasive dick, but she seems to have some integrity, along with a short fuse. Rio is here, purple hair and all, and he seems to be a music blogger. Okay, he's a music reporter. Okay, interesting. And he does, like with the movie, we don't start with Rio and Jerica being a couple. they meet in this episode. They have a little. He learns about the holograms from as the Misfits are looking over the various submissions, and like, ooh, the holograms. They're okay. It's a little light and fluffy for my. It's a little cotton candy for my taste. A little too high in sugar, but you know, nice beat. The special effects that they're using for their video on point. Thanks, Synergy. Rio's like, yeah, that's a nice song. I should look up, see who these people are. So he tracks down Jerrica Benton, who's the ostensible manager of the holograms. Looks her up and says, and here's they're over at the Starlight House playing with the kids, and apparently the Starlights are an actual band already. That's pretty cool. We see Bonnie. She's same design. She references Layla, and I'm such a big Gem of the Holograms dork, I know exactly which character that is. Ashley shows up. She's got an interesting new redesign. Jerrica is jamming with Ashley, and she's singing a song. Rio shows up and goes, oh, Gem's here. And he goes, oh, no, that's... And he walks in the room, sees it. Oh, it's Jerrica. It's like, well, how come you're not singing? You sound almost exactly like her, and you sing great. It's like, none of your damn business. So he asks her out, and he's not that passive-aggressive, negging asshole that he's portrayed in the opening 20 minutes, the first 20 minutes in the film. He's, a nice, sweet dude. So it makes sense that these two, they're going out for dinner tonight. They're hitting it off pretty well, so that's cool. Kimber and I'm blanking on her name. Why am I blanking on her name? Wow, Stormer. Boy, that just... Hey, for some reason, I was Mary, her name is Mary Phillips, but I'm like, I'm blanking on her name. Somewhere it's got to be in here. Stormer. Kimber, they go out for coffee. And that's really quick. Like me, I'm a get-to-know-you kind of guy. I'm not going to meet someone and immediately go out with them. No. We've got to build a rapport first. We've got to get to know each other, feel things out figuratively. It's going to take, a little time. 1 or 2 decades. I work slow. You can't be too careful. Gotta really get to know people. So that may seem quick, but they do a nice job of seeding that. In this version, they both play the keytar, so they've got that going for them. Stormer actually reads Kimber's blog, and Kimber is already a fan of the Misfits, and she's like, Stormer's the cutest. And that's good enough for Kimber. It's like, I like the cute ones. So, we are off to a nice start. Oh, the Misfits, Pizzazz and Roxy and Jetta. Oh, and Jetta, like the movie, also Jetta is here already. So cool. They see Kimber and Stormer having lunch, and they're like, traitor, we will do something in issue 3. But that will be in the next video. Wait for it.